Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to a Zombicide Invader / Android Netrunner, usually called just Android, crossover. So this is the Zombicide Comic Book Extra Volume 2. So what's neat is they added the Android comic book. They wanted to make one, but then they threw in some extra miniatures that work for Zombicide Invader. So we'll be looking over that today. Of course, then they give you this really awesome looking box. They designed just the quick throw together box, which is very fine. But yeah, so this is kind of neat. So I have said for all the other comic book videos, just be careful that if you want to read the comic book before you watch this video, because there are very possible spoilers. Just based on, who the characters are, what maybe some of their abilities possibly might be, might show like something that they may or may not do, or how they appear in what capacity, or who even the boss is. You can see some of the people on the cover here. Of course, this is our main character, Chaos Theory, so that's not really a spoiler there. Yeah, if you don't want any spoilers for the comic book, go read the comic book before you watch the video. I just don't want to be intrusive of that. With that being said, I'm going to look at some of the pages, just because I like to show off some of the artwork, just so you can kind of see what the book kind of looks like. Just a heads up, there might be graphic stuff in here. There's dinosaurs, apparently. And there's that. Some interesting stuff there. This is a very interesting thing. So I'm used to like so far I've been looking at all the Zombicide stuff. So this is definitely completely different. In the back, do we have any sketches? No, unfortunately not. I like that the other books all had sketches showing off some of the characters, which is really cool. So it's Run the Citadel. It does not have a number on it like the other books do, because this is supposedly, at least possibly, the first of the series. Who knows if they'll do any more. Alright, then we're going to look at, we have an actual scenario, which is fun. First of all, here I'll explain how some of the characters work. We'll check at that. But then we have a mission called Enter the Mainframe. So let's just bring these characters from the Android universe into Zombicide. Now, you're going to need Invader, because you're going to need the tiles, 1, 2, 4, 5, 8, and 9. So this only works the core set of Invader. Does not work with Darkseid, just because you need them specific tiles. Could you adapt it? I'm sure you probably could. Sometimes just where the tokens are, that might all that matter. But you need a bot, a sentry gun. There's kind of how you lay out the map. We have 3 different areas, which is very interesting. A blue, a yellow, and an orange. This is only played with 4 survivors. Chaos Theory, Crash Deck, Abstract Muse, and Okdang. Interesting. So we have 5 characters in this set, but we only play with 4 of them. It wants to use the actual ones. Defeat Synchris, who's the abomination in the game. So it wants to use all those different stuff. Maps divided into 3 areas: blue, yellow, orange. Survivor can only enter these colors when they reach the corresponding danger level. Interesting. A survivor in the yellow can move to the blue and yellow areas, but not the orange tiles. That's kind of a neat little idea. And then that way, if someone gets advanced a little bit farther, they can go ahead and explore. Interesting. Cool. There's some other different stuff in here. I'm not going to go through all that. We'll look over the companion rules and stuff when we get there. Let's hop into who we have. Since Chaos Theory is our main character for the game, we will look at her stats first. So she starts with Dinosaurus. We'll look at Dinosaurus next. So it's our companion that we get for the game. And we'll see how that works. She has in orange, escalation range, and shove. Shove lets you push any of the Xenos from your zone into the next open zone. So you get them out of your way. So they're not trying to attack you on the next turn or something like that. Escalation range means as long as she keeps performing ranged attacks without interrupting them, she gets an extra die roll. So the first one she might roll 2 dice, then the next time she roll 3, then 4, so on, as long as she has enough actions to keep doing melee action, or ranged actions, sorry. In red, she has one free move action. And it's supposed to show, because she's supposed to be like a hacker, so she can kind of get around areas. She also has Lifesaver and Medic. Lifesaver is kind of the opposite of Shove. Shove pushes the Xenos out of your area. Lifesaver lets you pull another survivor from an area with Xenos to your area. She's kind of the opposite. She can pull people out. And Medic will let her read this exactly because it's really good. Free skill used during the end phase. The survivor and all other survivors stand in the same zone may restore 1 armor up to their base level. So, if she sticks with people, she can definitely help heal them and keep them alive. That's pretty cool. Let's look at her miniature here. Alright, so there she is. She's kind of a sassy looking character. She's got that half-shaved head. It's kind of neat. Ball of hair in the back. Just a pistol. Again, this is the motif is going to differ from Zombicide, even from the Invader series, because this is a different series of work. But you can definitely see how they're going to fit in. Alright, then let's look at her companion we're going to get. So I'll have a little back on the different side. I thought it was a new bot, but it's a companion. She has a Dinosaurus. Special ability. Dinosaurus has low profile. So this means that he cannot be shot at when it attacks. He can get hit, cannot be hit by friendly fire. So ignore them when standing in the zone. Its leader gains Xenolink. And then, so with Xenolink, let's look at that one really quick. Survivor takes an extra turn. Each time an extra activation, not abomination cards, is drawing from the Xeno pile. They play before the extra activation. That's awesome because they get a full extra turn, not just an extra activation. This is while in the security room, it can also gain remote control all. So, remote control says survivor may perform actions with the machine indicated on the type, bot, sentry gun, or all. So, when they're in the security room, they can use this Dinosaurus to hack into any bot or sentry gun and use it. Now, it's also really cool about this as an idea, as a companion card, is because that means anyone can use it. She starts with it, but you can pass it along. So, you have a little possibly robotic dinosaur. He is on the cover of the book, but I guess we'd have to find out. Let's look at his rules. I apologize. Alright. Dinosaur may be linked to a survivor during a mission, or at the start of the mission, we'll just start with Dinosaurus skill. Survivor possesses the Dinosaurus is called its leader and gains the skills and leader abilities. Doesn't take up an inventory slot, but may be traded along with it, as you make sure is the same way as an equipment card. It is a survivor, hence it counts as one noise. It is eliminated upon receiving any damage. The game is lost if Dinosaurus is eliminated. So that's what kind of sucks about that, because he is considered a regular character. He has no defense. It always stays with its leader. Special rules and the move-related skills also apply to Dinosaurus when oxygen takes and its leader equips. Does not have any action, does not have any inventory. Special ability, low profile, Xenolink, and security all. So that's kind of cool, because it's a neat idea, because then you can give that remote control all to any character, or Xenolink to any character. So that's really fun to be able to have that. But it has to then stick with them. But yeah, neat little extra mechanic for the game. Alright, let's look at our next survivor. We have another civilian. We have, zoom back just a little. We have Crash Deck. Which has like some sort of cyber helmet on. +1 die roll for ranged attacks. So nice, did some extra range damage right off the bat. In red or in orange, +1 die for range or remote control all. Nice, so did some extra more damage, more dice as well. Is that all you've got? Reaper range and Unstoppable. Unstoppable will let him just move out of an area with any Xenos without having to pay the additional cost. Reaper range says when a skill is assigned involving action and specified type, range is example, One of these hits free eliminates an additional Xeno of the same type. So if he eliminates a hunter, he gets to eliminate an extra hunter. If he happens to take out a tank, he gets to eliminate a free tank. But only one, regardless of how many. If he takes out 5 workers, he still only gets 1 extra. But still, extra is better than nothing. And is that all you've got? So use a skill is about to take damage. Negate the damage for each equipment you discard from your inventory. So as long as he controls a bunch of stuff, he can discard to stay alive. Very cool. Alright, let's look at his miniature here. It's a big flowing jacket. Big old mask. It's cool how they can make these guys look all so different, yet still have the exact same style. Like, you can definitely, oh yeah, they're all together. You know, it's just really cool. Alright, we looked at one of the ladies of the set. Let's look at the other one. We have Abstract Muse, who is actually a soldier, so she gets an extra hit point. Concentrated Attack Expert. So it says, whenever a cyber makes a concentrated attack with 2 dice or more, the base damage of the weapon is +1 and there's no friendly fire. So this is really cool, because so concentrated attacks, as a reminder, is normally when you roll the dice, if it says you roll 3 dice and you do 1 damage, you do 1 damage per every one of them dice that hit. So if you hit with all 3 of them, you wouldn't do 3 damage, you do 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. With concentrated attack, you can instead choose to target 1 specific character, and then you can roll them 3 dice, and let's say you got all 3 hits. Now you would do all 3 damage to that 1 character. But even if that character died after 2 hits, that 1 extra point would be lost. I love this as a concept for Zombicide in general. I wish they would have found a way to apply this to like the ruling of concentrated attack to the other Zombicide games. At least Black Plague, if nothing else, and then maybe possibly the Western one. I could maybe see. I get this as maybe more like they're shooting a laser blast and they're shooting directly at one guy versus spreading out. But what's the difference between that? Between a 6-shooter shooting 1 guy, or you're taking your M16 and you're shooting 1 guy, or you're taking an axe. So I thought it would have been cool if they would add this to anything. Would it make everybody a little bit? I can either try and take out 5 guys, or I can focus on taking out 1 guy. Which sometimes, if you play a fighting game, an RPG type game, that's sometimes what you do. There's 6 guys running around. Rather than trying to hit each different guy and hoping that your attack takes him out, you instead just hammer on 1 guy till he's done. Might be the biggest guy to take him out. Might be the fastest guy because he's the trickiest to deal with. Yes, this is actually a neat attack too, though, because it automatically gets it 1 extra damage, and he doesn't have to worry about hurting people. In orange, has Lucky and Point Blank. Point Blank lets her use any ranged weapon at melee range, and doesn't have to worry about friendly fire either. And then Lucky lets her reroll any of her dice. Both pair very well with Concentrated Attack Expert. Especially its attacks, it's melee or range. In Rag, we have 1 free search action, escalation, range, and sprint. So escalation, again, will let her just keep rolling them extra dice. Now, it doesn't work with, it could work with Concentrated Attack Expert if long as you're doing a concentrated range, but I don't think you have to keep doing concentrated range. That'd be an interesting question to find out. Alright, and then we have Sprint, which I think the only skill we haven't actually went over yet. Can use this during one of the turns, spend 1 move action, move 2 or 3 zones. Just to let her kind of back up. So if she wants to use ranged attacks, she can back up, or she can run in, or get closer and use some melee attacks. These are some good options. She's kind of good wherever you need her to be. And there is she. She's definitely like the sexy character of the set. Until we get to the next guy, maybe. No. I love guns that have the straps on them. It just makes sense for characters that have to be moving a lot. Like, yeah, why wouldn't you have a gun you can just strap on yourself as opposed to just having a holster? Alright, so we have the last one of the 4 there for the story, the story mission, is we have, I don't even know how to, a Kwang, a Oak Gang, yeah, it says bigger guy, with an eye patch. He's a soldier as well, but he starts with heavy cutter, so he gets to start with an additional weapon, or a bigger weapon. In orange, he has +1 damage for melee, and on roll a 6, +1 die for combat. So every time he rolls a 6, he gets an extra die. In red, he has auto repair, tough, and 0G run. Tough will let him ignore the first point of damage, so that's helpful. Auto repair says at the end of his turn, he heals all the way back up. So those are kind of similar, but very different, because automatically ignoring 1 can help possibly keep you alive during the turn. As if you took 2 damage, instead now you only take 1. Where auto repair means if you took 2 damage, you heal back up at the end of the turn, instead of only taking that 1 damage the other direction. But the difference would also be, is if he took 3 damage with tough, he'd only take 2. If he took 3 damage with auto repair, he would be dead before he had a chance to repair. So it's that, depending on what you can do, might have armor, might have other things that help out. So it kind of just depends on maybe what you're fighting against. Weaker enemies, maybe tough is good enough. Fighting against the bigger guys, or actually fighting against weaker guys, auto repair might be good enough too, because you could just, I can take 2 hits from smaller guys versus a big hit from a bigger guy. 0G run. Survivor can use this once during each of their turns, spends 1 action. They move 2 zones, ignoring everything in intervening zones except airlocks, walls, and closed doors. So this is basically jump for the old series, the old, modern Zombicide and stuff. But basically, can move between 2 zones and ignore anything in between, so you can jump over enemies and get to the other side, which is pretty fun as well. He's definitely our melee character of this group. Here he's got his big, giant, heavy cutter blade. I love it. The tech blade. The built-in handle, little angle on there. I love the rocks though too. That's really neat. Cool. So that is Ultgang, Aquagang, Aquagang. Who knows for sure? Our last survivor is the most mysterious of them all. So mysterious he wasn't allowed in the set. The Assassin. I just want to look at his miniature first, because he's definitely cool. And then we'll hop into the card. So here's the Assassin. He's basically big trench coat, the hat. He's got the cool mask. He is your, he's probably like your noir character of the Android series. Mysterious. He pops in. He's got this mask where his eyes are covered. Yeah, definitely really interesting. He is a civilian though. He has camouflage. Which camouflage means he can spend this action, if at the start of his turn, if there are no Xenos within line of sight of them for free, he can gain a camouflage token. And then he can keep that until, as long as he needs to, until they resolve a combat or machine or make a noise. As long as it doesn't do anything as this camouflage token. It gives him the ability, so any survivor with this is ignored by all Xenos and is not considered a noise token. Xenos don't attack them and will move past them. So basically, he just disappears to the side of Xenos. So he can walk right through all Xenos. He can let them walk by him. He still has to pay extra to walk through them. So if he has to herd through a group of like 4, he has to pay 2 for each one. So he might not even be able to do that. But he can always wait until they see somebody else and target them. So that's pretty cool. And then he has in orange +1 damage for range or 1 free ranged action, so depending on what you need. And in red, ambidextrous, sprint, and unstoppable. So again, sprint lets him move extra. Unstoppable lets him walk around without having to pay that penalty. So camouflage plus unstoppable means he can just walk right through every tile, which is very nice. And then ambidextrous means he treats all weapons as if they had the dual symbol. So he's such an expert in weapons that he can just dual wield everything. Alright, then our final Abomination. Our final guy is an Abomination. Is we have Synchrius. So he has card number 129, and we have up through 134 for him. They're all the same. There's 6 of them. This is a guy with a skeleton head. Some extra arms, some giant like wings. He's pretty crazy. So when you get this all abomination on the board, have 1 excavation. If you have Synchrius, spawn. If you don't, nothing happens. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a card that says what he does. But we do have the rules for him. So he has 2 actions. He deals 2 wounds, and he eliminates by a special ability. Provides 5 points of experience. To eliminate 5 damage, or damage of 3... Damage 3 of Synchrius is in a security room or in the same room as Dinosaurus. So yeah, you have Dinosaurus out. This is very helpful. Makes him easier to defeat. Or if he's in a security room, he's a little bit easier to defeat. Otherwise, he's going to take 5, which is going to be really hard to do. There is his full picture. You kind of get a look at that big giant. Definitely not like your typical Invader zombie. Xeno. And there's his miniature. He's got all like eyeballs around his head. That's pretty gross. And wings are so freaking cool. And then here he is as a comparison to a regular guy. So he does get a little bit height. He does have that translucent base, which is kind of cool because it shows him floating. Yeah, so that's pretty neat. And then if we went back to the comic book quick, not trying to do too many spoilers, but we do have Chaos Theory and Dinosaurus there. And then we have that guy hovering in the back, Synchrius. So, obviously he's the big bag of the story. But that is Android Zombicide crossover. So yeah, some people may have just saw Zombicide or saw Android and maybe passed this up. Hopefully you didn't keep looking for the extra characters. More characters are always fun to have. Plus that new companion is really neat. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys later. Bye.